graduated from this high school. None of you were in existence yet. But you know how I got in show business is kind of funny. I wanted to be on the track team. I was a sprinter and a high jumper, and I went to my doctor to get the permit. He said, hey, you got a little echo in there. I don't think I want you running. So I joined the dramatic club. Yeah, I started performing even then. You know, back in those days, they wrote shows for high school kids. It was during the war. They were just awful. Most of them were like propaganda, police on liberty, and those kind of things. And the only musicals we did were like from operettas, The Merry Wives of Windsor. And my kids got to do every Broadway hit there is. And we weren't allowed to back then. We couldn't do anything except stuff that was, you know, we didn't have to pay royalties on. But I got my laughs anyway in there. Franz Liszt would have rolled in his grave like a dervish. Some of the things I did. But, oh my God, it was fun. I usually got the best parts because I was taller than most of the girls, and I could be heard in the back of the house. There were no microphones then. You had to project. So I had the loudest voice. I got all the parts.
All right, we'll ask this.
Yeah, we did a fundraising many years ago, and some kind of minor movie star came to the star, and we did a 24-hour thing. And I can remember that, you know, being so sleepy, you get silly. You go on crying jags and things like that. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned in every other show that I was from Danville. You know, it's funny when I went to England to do Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the question of my accent came up because that's still a joke with the British. They said, well, you just talk like you usually do, but for God's sake, don't say you're from Danville. So, I would put us on the map.
Yeah, professionally.
But that was I was going to be an announcer. What happened was during the war, and everybody was getting drafted. I was, I think, 17. There was an ad in the commercial news, an announcer. So I went down there and I did my thing and I got the job. And in those days, they would leave me there by myself. I would rip off the news off the teletype, play the records, and did the whole thing. I loved it. So I thought, well, someday television is going to come. I'll be a television announcer. That's what I wanted to do. You know, I was the anchor man on the CBS morning show when I was 29. Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. Walter Cronkite was my newsman. I have a picture of the two of us on the news set, and it said, how did you ever make it without me? He was a wonderful guy. I just loved him. I could write a book about things that happened in live television. Incredible. I wish they didn't have any tape back then. We had a guy from the Laurentian Mountains who brought a bunch of huskies and a sled in. And he said, don't get too close to them, they're not friendly. And whatever you do, don't say mush. I started clowning around. I got on the thing and said mush, and they took off. They took down the weather set and the kitchen set. Oh, you had to be fast on your feet back then. There was no getting out of it.
Indeed.
It was more exciting, though, in those days, when you were live. Jerry and his wife were in a head-on collision down in Arkansas. And he's still in the hospital. It's been months. He really got broken up. He'll be here in a minute. He's going to be so mad that he didn't make this. He'll be on his feet, but my gosh, just bad. He's the funniest guy I know, my brother. You know, at the station in those days, they had those great big 16-inch records with a lot of little cuts on them, mostly commercials. And so we had one that was, oh, Mr. Weatherman, what's the weather today? And I would put it on, run across the hall, grab the news off the teleprompter, and come back. And I heard this voice say, ladies and gentlemen, there's a tornado approaching the area. Stay tuned to this station. Don't go out of your homes. Yeah, I went back and grabbed it and said, you know, a mistake. Telephone lineman showed up, wanted to know where it was coming from. I almost got fired. And then I almost got fired because I had like a disc jockey show on Saturday night, and all the kids would come down and dance in the lobby, and I almost got fired for that too. But I wanted to be an announcer. I thought it was fun. Look what happened. I don't know how I ended up in all this. Oh, yeah. My dad was transferred to Crawfordsville, and we were in a house right across from Wabash College, that beautiful campus. I was on the freshman track team, and I thought I was headed for the Olympics. I said, our coach was an official on Saturdays when the college guys ran, so I'd always go over and watch the meet. One day he comes to me and he said, the Purdue anchor runner on 4x4 turned his ankle. You want to run it? I mean, I'm like 14 years old, or 15 maybe. And I didn't have any track shoes. I ran on my bare feet. The guy, when I got the baton, was from Purdue, about 5 years ahead of me. I passed him on the outside and won that race. My father he died, did not believe it had happened. He had a blue ribbon they gave me. But I had visions of the Olympics. I am speedy. But then I got here and the doctor wouldn't let me run, so I became an actor. Just a lucky thing there. Mary Miller was the head of the English department and the drama department. And one of those great teachers. She knew who was going with who broke up with who, everything about what was going on. Just involved. And she always, said she thought I had talent. That was just because I got the nerve to get up here doesn't mean I've got talent. But she was such a big help to me. 30 years later, I'm in Chicago doing The Music Man. And they brought Mary Miller up. She was in a wheelchair at this time. But I was so thrilled that she came to see me. Afterward, she comes to the dressing room. She got a notebook with pages of notes for me about my performance. I was 17 years old here. Now, Dick, in the first act, I couldn't believe it. It was so cute. I agree, if you have one really good teacher that, impresses you, you're lucky. She was Fanny Flack, who ran the a cappella choir. 2 teachers who stuck in my mind that inspired me. I hope you got something like that now. I did an interview on NPR the other day, and the guy said, it wasn't fair to me that Mary Tyler Moore is so beautiful and also talented. He said, at least you've got a big nose.
How often are you in contact with Carl Reiner and Rosemarie and some of the other
Carl, almost every day. Carl's not really on his feet. He's 93 now. Still, he and Mel Brooks have all their marbles. They're just the same guys. Rosie's in a wheelchair, but just as feisty as you. Yeah, and we just lost Millie. Was in the paper last week. The next door neighbor, who one of the great straight men of the world. She was sweet and kind, and she never stopped acting right till the day she died. And in a dramatic role, she could bring tears to your eyes. She was a wonderful actress, but mainly a straight. There's a lot of comedians, but good straight men are hard to find. And she backed Mary like you wouldn't believe. It was like an improv troupe, that gang. It was never, Maury Amsterdam used to say, it's like going to a party every morning. It was just the most creative, fun time. I still be doing it. Yeah. I was home. I've been home a few times. The first admission back, they had a parade. Everybody in town was in the parade. They didn't have to watch them. But to wave to. Everybody was in the parade. But I saw a performance, and then the last time I was here, they did Bye Bye Birdie, and I couldn't get over the talent. There's some really talented kids there. And out in California, most of the high schools have dropped art and music, any kind of culture, because they couldn't afford it. So we raise money now. We put on performances to support the arts. It's gotten to the place where we're going to have a generation of robots if we don't watch out. And a couple of these kids, I just said, they got to have a chance. So we've got this foundation. Kids who really want to go forward with a career and study will be able to, because, like my mom said, you either can be a doctor or you can't be some itinerant show person, It's not realistic. You'll never get there. Funny thing was, my partner and I got in his old Chevy and drove to LA to do a nightclub act. But we were gonna come home, it was a lark. We were gonna have the experience, then come home and do something serious with our lives. And one thing led to another, and I never got back home. And I'm very happy about it. Oh, I have so many. I said I could write a book about them. I think, was there an editor, a letter in the paper Sunday? Yeah, I just reminiscing about those days. Jerry and I have often said, you know, we were poor and didn't know it. We had such great childhoods. God, and you know, there were homeless people everywhere during the Depression. A poor old guy would knock on your back door and offer to do some work for food, and my mom never turned him down. There was never any violence. What worries me today is that a lot of what's going on is our fault. Every day out in Los Angeles, or somebody runs a human being down and just keeps going. That never happened, and it's happening everywhere. Shootings, and especially down there. There's something wrong with us. I think we've got to start thinking about our behavior. I won't go into that, I guess, political.
Go ahead, here.
Oh, I wanted to tell you, they still do Moments Musical, don't they? I don't know, right here. Rosie, what the heck was her name, Rosie? We worked out a number 2, the bells are ringing for me and my gal, and a little number that we did. We came out and did the number and went off. The audience wouldn't stop applauding. We had to come out and do it again. And that's when I got the bug. I said, this is fun. Could just be able to come out and do it again and have an audience react that way. It's one of the greatest kicks in life. Do I still want to accomplish? Well, I'm doing it mostly, but I have a quartet, 3 guys here. We're going to sing later, I think, tomorrow night.
That's right.
And we go out, we sing at a lot of benefits, fundraising, and that's mostly what I do now. And I go out and talk to people about how to be old. I wrote a book that they came to me about, and it's called Keep Moving. I wanted to call it What to Do While Circling the Drain. They wouldn't go for it. That's a great title. I was just down in San Diego last week speaking to 2,500 people over 65. And my advice is never start going down the stairs sideways, because that throws the hip, the back, and before you know it, you're in trouble. Even if it hurts, go down straight. Well, I think anybody's is. I had such a great childhood there and had so many experiences. You know, but there was no television, no TV games, no nothing. There was radio and a movie on Saturday if you could afford it. And we just made up our own thing. I became a magician and I would order things on the catalog. And Charlie Dye, who lived next door, the 2 of us, I was doing magic shows for the, luncheons, you know, Kiwanis luncheons, ladies' luncheons. I get $3 and go do my little act. And I would practice in front of the mirror by the hour. I loved that. And I had a bamboo pole. And I'd say, Mom, we're going fishing down the river. I didn't even have a line. We would go down there, skinny dips what we do. We were not allowed to dip in the river. One day we found a beat up old rowboat, just thrown up on the shore. We got in it, got some branches. We started rowing, realizing in a few minutes we're headed for the dam. We sure heard the road, and we just bailed out and the boat went over. My mother had known that. But I liked it better than going out to the lake. The lake had a kind of a muddy bottom, you know, but the river was, I don't know, I just liked it better. Although we spent a lot of time out at that lake. And we're having a thing at Harrison Park, aren't we, the club? I think so, out at Harrison Park. Every prom, every dance we ever had was at Harrison Park. I can remember it so well, jitterbugging around in there. Brings back a lot of wonderful memories.